Oh shit, so you probably clicked on this video, saw either the title and or the game, and you are wondering why the hell I am playing Black Ops 1 from 14 years ago, and I am going to address both of those things in just a quick second. But I honestly just wanted to give some real quick context and kind of a bit of a shout out, honestly, to a guy called Wurs. Just search it up exactly as it sounds on YouTube. He is a guy similar age to me who just does this exact same thing, who tried it, a couple years ago. It didn't work. Very similar to my situation, and he just talks about life. He talks about what is going on with his finances, with his job situation, with dating, a whole bunch of different topics, and I just found it super interesting. His growth has been super cool to watch, and I honestly just wanted to kind of replicate it for myself. I have this old capture card sitting beside my desk as I, just had it here for so damn long, and this is third time's a charm. I tried this in 2013 as a 15-year-old kid. I tried it again in 2015 as a 16, 17-year-old, and that is when I actually got some traction. But long story short, this will be a video for another day. My dad kicked off the internet, so I'll address that at some point in the future. But this is really my third time giving it a shot. I've got some actual things to talk about. You are watching just a very simple, flawless, I think I went 40-0 or something like that in Newtown. That is what, half the reason 40-0 isn't too impressive. But on Nuketown, as you can imagine, is extremely difficult. So I've got a couple gameplays similar to this. This will be my very first official video back, if you will. And, before we get into that, this is, again, a one take. There is not going to be any fancy editing. There is not going to be any fancy overlays. Nothing like that. I am just going to have a conversation with whoever S listening, and if it can literally just help one person shed some light on things in life and whatnot, I am happy. I've literally done my job, and that is all I ask. So the title is, it is very simple. I am not going to sugarcoat it. You do not have as much time as you think. You may as well just start. And this is coming from a 26-year-old, okay. So I know I've not lived, a ton of life, but I've had enough experience in my 26 years that I can feel, especially the last 5 years or so, just blinking. And it has gone by like that, like the snap of fingers, and I can really explain it. I'm not going to talk about the science or any of that. But honestly, just thinking of like, holy crap, like when you are young, when I first started this channel, it is like, oh man, I am 13, 14, 15, a year back then. Felt like a decade right now, right? Like a year goes by so damn quick. And the thing I wanted to talk about here is just like, whatever the hell it is that you want to start. Half the reason I am starting this is because of this thought process is like, just do it. You literally don't have as much time as you may think or as people tell you. I know a lot of these gurus and things like that will tell you these things. And that is kind of what this channel is going to be focused about. Just a real quick note, it is going to be three things. And hopefully one of these resonates with you. It is going to be business slash finance slash just like lifestyle. Number two, it is going to be about health and fitness and how important that is and how much of a difference that has made in my life. I don't know what is going on here. I think I was playing with a buddy or something and he did that. And the third is just going to be maybe gaming and the impact that has had, but also taking my obsession and putting that into business and my somewhat success in my companies that I now own and run today, my job experience from the past. That is just some things I am going to talk about here. And that is the reason why I wanted to have this very first, chat on this specific video is like, dude, when you are young, you do have a lot of time, right? You do. And that is part of the reason why I wanted to talk about point number one, which is like, take risks. You have to take risks while you are young because you have so much time. You have an abundance of it and you don't have any main responsibilities. So you may as well go start that business, go travel to the country and live in it for 3 years or whatever the process is, right? Do whatever the hell you want, man, because you are going to eventually have kids. You are going to have a mortgage. You are going to have larger overhead than what you would as a student. I really don't know what is going on in this video. I am sorry in this gameplay, but you need to stay on track and you need to assess, especially even in your early 20s, things creep up very, very quickly if you are not smart enough, right? So if there is anything that I can just leave this with it is you need to be forced to take some risk. It is one of the main things that I honestly regret, which is crazy to say. It is like, remember my mid-20s and I've already got regrets? It is like, unfortunately, I just do it as the standard that I hold myself to, and anyone listening that has resonated with the title of the video. You are probably feeling the same way, even if it is a little bit. It may not be super extreme, but it is like you should feel kind of pissed off. You should feel frustrated that it is like 5, 10, 15 years, however old you are while watching this video. It is like, that is gone by like the blink of an eye. Like, if you are my age 26, it feels like 2012 was not that long ago. And it is like, holy hell, dude. Like, that is so damn long ago. Like, that is insane. That is when I first started uploading videos. You could see my very first video on here, and I thought I had so much conviction that I was going to be a YouTuber and that I was going to make a living from this. And then I kind of fizzled out. I didn't put as much focus into it. I stopped taking the risk of just uploading videos and just seeing what happened. I got too scared of what people would think and or say, and it is like, I am at an age now where it is like, who cares, man? Who honestly gives a damn about any of that stuff? You just need to take the stab, take the risk, get out there, make content. There's a lot of people starting videos because of the guy why that I mentioned words earlier in this video is like, dude, it is just inspiring to see someone grow because there is so much nostalgia with these old CODs, right? And I think that is something that people are really resonating with, and just going back to that time of your life from 200, call it 2009 to 2013, man. Like you just had to be there when people ask. I just say you just had to be there in this era of COD. But it is so funny to go back on and look at those commentaries from guys like Hutch or White Boy 7th Street or Woody Gamertag or people like that, and relive those moments. And that is why I still play these games. I don't play these games to try and stay stuck in the past. It is not anything to do with that. It is just, I freaking love these games, and there is no other way around it. So as this game comes to an end, I know I am a little bit of a yap session or rambling, but the message stays strong. It is like, dude, just start whatever it is you want to start. I am starting this channel. This is the very beginning of hopefully a ton of wisdom and ton of videos on my success with money, or just any of that stuff, fitness, health. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get to them as I can, and I'll roll from there. Thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it. Peace. Let me elaborate a bit more on this whole "you don't have as much time as you think" thing, because it is genuinely a thought that keeps me up at night sometimes, and it is a huge motivator for me. When you are in your teens or even early 20s, a year feels like an eternity. Like seriously, summer break felt like a lifetime, right? Now at 26, I blink and a whole year has flown by. It is not just me either. I talk to friends and they feel the same way. It is like time accelerates. And before you know it, you are looking back at a decade that vanished in a blur. This realization, this feeling of time slipping through your fingers, can be a powerful kick in the ass. It is not about being anxious or stressed. It is about channeling that feeling into action. It is about recognizing that every day you put off that thing you want to do, that dream you want to chase, is a day you can get back. And when those days accumulate, they turn into weeks, months, and then suddenly years. That is why I am here playing Black Ops 1 and talking to a camera. Because if I waited until everything was perfect, until I had the fanciest equipment or a perfectly polished script, I'd probably never start. And that is a regret I absolutely refuse to have. So, let us dive deeper into these three pillars I mentioned: business, fae finance, fae life, fae style, health, fae fitness, and gaming. These aren't just random topics. They read the areas where I've experienced the most growth and learned the most hard lessons. Starting with business and finance, man, I was a mess in my early 20s. I was a total impulse buyer, living paycheck to paycheck, and honestly, a bit irresponsible with my money. I'd see something cool, want it, and buy it without a second thought. Credit cards were my best friends, and that is a dangerous friendship to have. I ended up with a decent chunk of debt, nothing crippling, but enough to make me feel constantly stressed and behind. It was a wake-up call. I realized that if I wanted to build any kind of future, I had to get my financial house in order. I started reading everything I could get my hands on about personal finance, budgeting, and investing. And let me tell you, it is not glamorous, it is not exciting like buying a new gadget, but it is essential. I learned how to track my spending, create a budget that actually worked for me, and most importantly, I learned the power of saving and investing, even small amounts. It is not about getting rich quick. It is about consistent, disciplined effort over time, and it is about shifting your mindset from immediate gratification to long-term financial security. This journey wasn't easy. There were times I wanted to just throw in the towel and go back to my old habits. But the thought of being stuck in that cycle forever, that fear of financial instability, pushed me forward. I paid off my debt, built an emergency fund, and now I am consistently investing in low-risk options. It is not about being a financial wizard, it is about making smart choices and staying consistent. I'll share specific strategies and tips in future videos, but for now, just know that it is possible to turn your financial situation around. No matter how bleak it seems, then there is health and fitness for a long time. I completely neglected this. I was so focused on other things that my physical and mental well-being took a backseat. I ate whatever I wanted, barely exercised, and just generally didn't prioritize my health. And guess what? It started to catch up with me. I felt sluggish, low on energy, and just not great overall. It wasn't about looking a certain way, it was about feeling good and having the energy to tackle everything else in my life. So I started making small changes. I began going for walks, then jogging, then eventually I joined a gym. I started paying more attention to what I was eating, not in a restrictive way, but in a way that focused on nourishing my body. It wasn't about extreme diets or intense workout routines. It was about finding what worked for me and consistently showing up, and the difference it made was incredible. My energy levels soared, my mood improved, and I felt a general sense of well-being that I hadn't experienced before. This isn't just about physical health either. It is deeply connected to mental health. When you feel good physically, it translates to feeling good mentally. It gives you resilience, focus, and the stamina to pursue your goals. I'll share my journey, the ups and downs, and the simple, actionable steps I took to transform my health. Because honestly, if I can do it, anyone can. And finally, gaming. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Gaming as a pillar for building wealth and getting your life together, hear me out. Gaming has always been a huge part of my life. I've spent countless hours playing, from those early days of Black Ops 1 to whatever new title is out now, and there is a lot of value in that passion. It teaches you problem solving, strategic thinking, teamwork, and persistence. But there's also a dark side if you let it consume you for a while. Gaming was an escape for me, a way to avoid dealing with the real-world challenges I was facing. It was easier to level up a character in a game than it was to tackle my debt or my unhealthy habits. But then I started to think, what if I could channel that same obsession, that same drive and dedication I put into gaming, into my business ventures? And that is exactly what I started to do. I realized that the skills I honed in gaming, like strategizing, adapting to new situations, and pushing through challenges, were directly transferable to the business world. My somewhat success in my own companies today, it didn't come from being naturally gifted. It came from applying that same gaming mindset to real-world problems. It is about seeing obstacles as levels to conquer and setbacks as respawn points. And that is something I want to explore more: how to take your passions, whatever they are, and leverage them to build something meaningful in your life. This whole journey, this whole idea of just start. It is about acknowledging that perfection is the enemy of progress. It is about understanding that you don't need all the answers before you take the first step. You just need to take it. And then another and another. It is going to be messy. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to stumble. I certainly have. But every mistake is a lesson. Every stumble is an opportunity to learn and adjust. And that is the beauty of being in your 20s. You have that time, that runway to experiment, to fail, to pick yourself up, and to keep going. Don't let fear hold you back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. Those fears are natural, but they are also incredibly limiting. The biggest regret you'll have is about the things you tried and failed at. It is about the things you never even dared to attempt. Think about it. When you are older, looking back, what will you wish you had done? What opportunities did you let slip by because you were too scared or too comfortable? I remember when I first tried to start a YouTube channel back when I was a teenager. I was so excited, so full of ideas. I spent hours editing videos, convinced I was going to be the next big thing, and then, well, life happened. I got discouraged, I let other people's opinions get to me, and I just stopped. I stopped taking the risk. And that is a regret that has stuck with me. Now at 26, I am doing it again, not because I expect to be a millionaire YouTuber overnight, but because I have something to say, something to share, and a genuine desire to connect with people who might be going through similar struggles. It is about showing up, being authentic, and putting yourself out there, even if it is imperfect. Especially if it is imperfect, because that is where the real connection happens. People don't want to see a perfectly curated, unrealistic version of life. They want to see someone real, someone who is navigating the same challenges and trying to figure things out. So as I wrap up this slightly longer than planned ramble, the core message remains. Just start whatever that it is for you. Whether it is a new business idea, a fitness goal, a creative project, or simply a desire to improve your financial situation, just take that first step. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready, because you might never feel 100% ready, and that is okay. Imperfect action is always better than perfect inaction. The next few years, your 20s, they re-foundational. They the time to lay the groundwork for the rest of your life. Don't let them just blend into a blur of missed opportunities and unfulfilled dreams. Take risks, learn from your mistakes, and most importantly, start now. Trust me. Your future self will thank you for it. I'll be sharing more actionable advice, personal stories, and insights on all these topics in the coming videos. If anything I've said has resonated with you, if you are feeling that urge to finally take action, then hit that subscribe button. Let us build something together. And if you have any questions, any struggles you are facing, or anything you'd like me to talk about, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to get to all of them. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Peace.